Let the countdown begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually preserved for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times and don't mess up the cash flow. We live.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Sunday afternoon live stream. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button, guys, as you guys come in, because we got to talk about this, guys. We got to talk about this. All of the hoopla coming out after the Diddy verdict from a few days ago, and everybody has their predictions on how much time Diddy will be getting. And I've been coming live talking about it, you know, ever since the verdict was read. And now I am going to make my prediction right now on why Trump, yes, the president of the U.S. of A, will give Diddy a pardon if that biased judge, yes, I call him biased, he is a biased judge. If that biased judge goes crazy with the sentencing, guys, hit the like button, guys. You guys come in, because I've been watching this, you know, this trial since the beginning, and I've been studying this judge, right? This judge is a absolutely biased judge. It's so obvious that he did not like Diddy. He is a former prosecutor, and he's only been a judge for 2 years, guys. He is of Indian descent, and he is not feeling Diddy. You know what I'm saying? He is not feeling Diddy. Everybody said Diddy is going to get bail around 1 o'clock after the verdict was read. And this judge says, nope. He got the letters from Cassie Ventura, Diddy's hairstylist, and a couple of other people about if you let Diddy out for bail, on bail, they are going to be harmed. So the judge decided to hold Diddy, and he set the bail hearing. Well, bail hearing for October, not bail hearing. He set the sentencing hearing for October 3rd. Okay. So they had a bail hearing around 1 o'clock, and then they pushed it to roughly 5 o'clock on that day of the verdict. But, you know, he said, look, no bail. We got a sentencing hearing October 3rd, but they have a pre-sentencing hearing on Tuesday. This Tuesday coming up, July 8th, because Diddy's team said they wanted to expedite the process. So we're gonna see what happens on Tuesday. This coming up Tuesday, what happens in that pre-sentencing hearing. So now what's going on is that the prosecution, they have asked for 4 to 5 years, right? Diddy has been in jail for 10 months, roughly, right now. The defense is saying, look, the sentencing guidelines say for this type of crime, the man, that conviction it should be 21 months, right? 21 months. That'd be roughly like 2 years. Diddy did 10 months. So, so they're saying, look, go on the low end. But the prosecution is saying they want 4 to 5 years of prison time because, of course, they're sore losers. And they are embarrassed right now because, let's be honest. Diddy did beat the feds. He did beat the feds because he was staring. Diddy was staring 15 years of life in prison if he would have got hit with the RICO and the sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? RICO would have been 10 years to life. Sex trafficking charges, 15 years to life. This judge didn't like Diddy, so he probably would have gave Diddy life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he would have gave Diddy life, right? So let's see who's in this building. I'm going to get to why Trump will pardon Diddy if this, judge get out of line. Drop a knot. Salute to you, Drop a knot. How you doing, Drop a knot? And like I said, guys, I predicted. You got to listen to my predictions because I'm unbiased over here. And the night before the verdicts came through, look at that. I had my Diddy verdict prediction. I said not guilty on RICO and sex trafficking, but guilty on the Mann Act, okay? Guilty on the Mann Act, and the next day, boom, shakalaka. The exact verdicts were read. So that's why you got to hit this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells. I'm going to be covering some more court cases also, but my prediction came true. And my prediction on this Trump pardon more than likely will come true also, guys. It will come true also. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give y'all, evidence why this is going to come true. Shout out to my guy T. Williams is in the building. Salute to you, T. Williams. Waiting for Diddy to drop a first day out song. Yeah, well, Rose right. Hi, Diddy having a hearing this Tuesday. Yes, this Tuesday, a pre-sentencing hearing this Tuesday, guys. Now, we're going to see what this biased judge is going to do. He wanted to do the sentencing on October 3rd, right? Obviously, the judge does not like Diddy. He does not like him. And you got people out there, other YouTubers that's out there, and other people that wanted to see Diddy buried. They are cheering on this judge. They hope they give him the max 10 years on each account because he could give him up to 10 years. Now there is a point system in the sentencing guidelines, but the judge can actually give Diddy 10 years. Now Diddy will be a first-time offender. Remember, Diddy was convicted on the Mann Act, engaging in prostitution across state lines, transportation girls across state lines. All right, so that's the Mann Act. It's a old law that came in effect around 1911 or so to get the boxer Jack Johnson. Okay, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. So he has been convicted of that. He skated on the RICO and sex trafficking. Okay, so that's what we're looking at right here. Nah, let Diddy serve some time. Backdated justice for Biggie and Pac, says Real One. So Real One says he wants to make up. Real One wants to make up for Biggie and Tupac. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Now, I keep saying, listen, there's no evidence that Diddy had anything to do with Biggie and Tupac. You know what I'm saying? When they do that trial, if the feds or if the state government has some evidence, if somebody start ratting out Diddy and whatever, and they want to take it to trial, I'll be all for that trial. I'll cover that trial also. But right now, listen, you're innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't, you know how rumors go and rumors be all over social media. A Real One, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, all the rumors are like, oh, he was dealing with Justin Bieber when they were young. He was dealing with Usher when he was young, and this and that. Turns out all of that was like just rumors and false. And neither one of those guys were called in to testify so they can bury Diddy in this trial. So, you know what I'm saying? You were right about the verdict with Diddy. Yes. And I think I'm going to be right with this pardon. Raze, would you attend a Diddy homecoming freak off? Nope. Listen, I would attend a freak off with Cassie still. You know what I'm saying? Even though Cassie, see, if I could attend a freak off with Cassie, knowing that Diddy won't be involved. He won't be hiding in the shadows. Diddy won't be hiding in the corner with a mask on to watch me and Cassie, get down and dirty. You know what I'm saying? Jack Johnson was done wrong. Bruce M2. Yes, I'm going to get into that. Bruce M2. Rose Wright is in the building. Like I said, guys, I'm telling you, Trump is going to pardon Diddy. Now, first, before I get into that, let me, you could be the new Punisher. Like I said, I'll deal with Cassie, but like I said, not with Diddy around, bro. Not with Diddy around. Nah. And not with her personal trainer either. Not with that, not with her husband. She would have to bring another female along. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing no, matter of fact, no, I'm not doing no free calls with Cassie either, because it's going to involve the men. She going to want another man involved, and I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? We could get another female involved. You know what I'm saying? What's J-Lo doing these days? I don't know. Hit the like button, guys. Trust me, he will stay away from Cassie. Yeah, and Cassie did him dirty. Cassie did Diddy dirty by sending the judge that letter saying that she still fears, for her safety if you let him out on bail. So Cassie did Diddy dirty, man. Hit that like button, guys. Cassie was a burner. I don't know. She don't deserve anyone solid after this, for real. But she got that 30 million in her bank account. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes money talks. You know what I'm saying? Got that 30 million in that bank account. Now, before I get to the Trump stuff, Trump is going to pardon Diddy because it's another distraction from reparations, says JoJo. Well, I'm going to get into why Trump is going to pardon Diddy. Hit the like button. Ivan Curry is in the building. Salute to you, Ivan Curry. Raise. Welcome. Sharper than a razor. Actually, smash that like button, guys. Shout out to you, Ivan Curry. Hit the like button. She got the money evil. She got the money evil. Hey, we gonna share. We're gonna share the money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she got it in the evil way, but hey, I help her spend it in the evil way. Matter of fact, no, I help her spend that money in a good way. Hey, and shout out to Brandon Clark Stocks is in the building. Salute. Now, a lot of people were big mad that the jurors on the case inside that courtroom basically, did not want to give Diddy life in prison, in which I felt that was going to happen. They overcharged Diddy with the RICO and the sex trafficking. The jurors knew they weren't sequestered, so they knew he was facing 15 years of life. And they said, look, we're not going to expose Diddy to maybe 15 years of life in prison. So we're going to find him not guilty on sex trafficking, not guilty on RICO racketeering, which I think was the greatest thing for him. And I believe it was the right decision. But you got some people that are big mad about that decision. You know what I'm saying? And, they just big mad. So let me play for you first before I get into the Trump thing. What the juror, I have an anonymous juror's quote, and I have one of the jurors that were sitting on the sideline just in case they had to step in. So let's play for you what the jury thought about the verdict.
As one juror is now speaking out anonymously. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has that story.
A juror from the Sean Diddy Combs trial requesting to remain anonymous, slamming the notion that the music mogul's celebrity profile drove their decision. In a statement to ABC News saying, I found that statement highly insulting and belittling to the jury and the deliberation process, adding our decision was based solely on the evidence presented and how the law stated we would have treated any defendant in the same manner regardless of who they are. The jury of 8 men and 4 women acquitted the rap titan of the most severe charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, but convicted him on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution as it relates to ex-girlfriends Cassie Ventura and the woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane. An alternate juror telling CNN, though he wasn't part of the deliberations, he agrees with the verdict.
I took a copious amount of notes. I think reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors. notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would.
Yeah, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Y'all just heard. Y'all just heard the jurors, right? Now some people were like, "Oh, the jury is stupid. The jury don't know what they're doing. They didn't understand RICO. They didn't understand. Diddy paid them off. They should have been sequestered. The jury was 8 men, and those 8 men are misogynistic towards women. They were starstruck by Diddy, star power, and this and that. And you just seen the juror was offended by that. He said, look, we took a look at all the evidence and we decided not guilty on the major charges. Now, some YouTubers were saying, how in the world? Because they proved RICO. They proved the arson. They proved the bribery. They proved the extortion of Cassie's mom, $20,000. They proved the drug distribution because he gave drugs to his friends. How could the jury get it wrong? They're box-headed. How? Listen, guys, I'm telling you guys, look, listen. First of all, they didn't actually prove those predicates. It was circumstantial evidence. It was testimony that Diddy may have did those things, but they didn't have videos. They didn't have audios. They didn't have smoking guns that Diddy actually did arson and that other stuff. Now, they had testimony, but like I said, with the whole bribery thing of the hotel, with the video, I mean, it was no police report done. It wasn't a police investigation. They just wanted the video back. I mean, it didn't cast. I mean, but then, all right, let's go through this. Naomi, in a second. Let's go through this. Even if they had evidence, even if they had 100% evidence that he burned Kid Cudi's car, even if they had 100% evidence that he did bribery, he did extortion, guess what? He still would have been found not guilty on RICO. Do you understand why? And people don't understand this. They keep saying the jury didn't understand this. He would have been found not guilty of RICO racketeering because he did it on his own. There was no conspiracy with Bad Boy Records to commit the crimes. If they did have solid evidence of those crimes, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. If you really believe they look, listen, if the jury believed those witnesses, right, that Diddy actually did those predicates of the RICO, it doesn't matter because the jurors did not believe Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise anyway to find him guilty of RICO racketeering. He was overcharged. He was charged with the wrong charges, guys. Hit the like button, guys. So it's null and void, and I've been saying that. During, I think the 3rd week of the trial when I started figuring out, wait a minute, the government don't have anything. The government does not have any proof that Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise. So that means those predicates are useless. Those predicates, you can throw all of those predicates of the RICO in the trash, in which this brilliant jury did. They said this is trash. This is not a RICO racketeering case. Why can't people understand? Hit the like button, guys. Guys. I'm trying to explain to you why the jury found him not guilty. There was no RICO case. You can't find a guy guilty on that if it's no criminal enterprise. You got to charge him individually for arson. You got to bring him to court and say, hey, did you burn Kid Cudi's car? You got to charge him with arson separately in a state case or whatever and come with the evidence because you putting it under RICO racketeering. There was no criminal conspiracy. Oh, man. Feeling bad for the snitches, says Vanessa. So you're saying Diddy gonna get revenge when we get out? Hey, I wish he did pay me. I'll be sitting abroad lovely right now. God damn it. I'll be back in DR if he did pay me to intimidate some witnesses on the train. You know what I'm saying? I wish he did. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Yvonne Curry telling you, hit that damn like button First Nation, the Coco, the evil people in charge are all going to be outed. He has the truth about all of them. Listen, they just didn't charge him properly. I've been saying that. Diddy will sue everyone and make $100 billion off the lawsuit, says scam likely. Puff needs all his money after this. And the good thing about him not being found guilty of the RICO racketeering, they cannot take that man's property. They can't take that man's assets. I always believe he should be able to keep his assets, even if he was found guilty on RICO racketeering, because he made his money not doing freak-offs and criminal acts. He wasn't selling prostitutes. He was not selling drugs for profit. He made his money legitimately through Bad Boy record sales and promotions and TV deals and stuff like that. He did not make his money doing illegal activities. So that was always a joke and just an absolute travesty that there was a chance that he can have all his assets forfeited just because he was found guilty of RICO racketeering. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a disaster. So he's won. He beat the feds. He beat the feds, and he's trying to beat a biased judge because I don't know about this biased judge, guys. Now, he can get up to 10 years per man charge. That'll be 20 years. Now, a lot of haters, like, Tisa Tells and them people, they want him to get that 20 years. He's not going to get that. He's not going to get that more than likely. Like I said, the prosecution formally asked for 5 years, right? In prison. Okay. Diddy's defense, like, no, it's only 21 months and this and that, time served, whatever. So, but I'm going to get to the Trump situation in a minute. Let me see. As the test lion proceeded, it got worse and worse. Yes, as the testy lion proceeded, it got worse and worse. Yeah. Let me see. Listen, I believe that USA, we avoided a bad precedent being set because they were trying to criminalize men buying females gifts, men flying out women, men courting women, and maybe sleeping with women. Maybe they call it coercion, but sometimes you got to pay a woman some money here and there, promise her to pay her bill or something to try to get her into bed. Guys, it is what it is. And the thing is, they trying to say that that's a crime. That's coercion. You could be hit with federal charges, sex trafficking charges for that, guys. So I think the USA dodged a bullet by, I think the USA dodged the bullet, and I think the jury saved the USA from setting a horrible legal precedent because they're going to use this case on regular Joes, in the future for trying to get them, slam them on, the sex trafficking. But guys, we got to get to the Mann Act, and I'm going to get to that Mann Act in a few minutes, and why Trump is going to pardon Diddy if this biased judge, this John Wayne judge, takes it upon himself to make up for the prosecution because he was mad. The judge was mad. The judge was a former prosecutor, so he was on the prosecution side. You know what I'm saying? Okay, free him. Have your daughters and nieces keep him company since he's so innocent. LOL. LeSean Watson. And the thing is, I be hearing these arguments. And, listen, if I had a daughter and if she was of age, if I had a niece, if she was of age, that would be their decision to make. I tell them don't hang out with people like him, not just Diddy, but other ninjas out there. You know what I'm saying? And I would say, look, right from wrong. You don't want to be around somebody that's getting high. You don't want to be around somebody that's doing freak-off sex parties, right? Unless you're a freak yourself, right? Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me see you on some Playboy or some what's that? OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Don't let me see you with a guy like Diddy. Diddy was not accused of being with underage minors in this case, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Now, underage minors, that's different, but these are consenting adults. You know what I'm saying? And if I had a daughter, I would have to let her make her own decision and make her own mistakes in life. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What am I going to do? Diddy could have done all that stuff legally in the suit. Real one. Listen. And yeah, listen, and the thing is, that's why I'm saying the USA dodged the bullet with this. You know what I'm saying? Because they were trying to get him on that Jane stuff, and Jane, no way in the world was a victim. There's just no way. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a federal charge. Trump can't pardon. Well, they got him on the Mann Act, which it is federal. The Mann Act is still federal. You know what I mean? So he can't pardon those two. He can pardon those two Mann Act charges that he got. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. Shout out to everybody watching, and Trump will do it. And I'm going to get into that. Dems don't care about black people, and they keep voting for them. Obama didn't pardon anyone. Tisha Tell is evil. What did he do to her? She was sad. Tisha Tell was on Diddy's ass out there. she was on his ass, you know, and shout out to her. But the thing is, you know, she's saying Ratchet TV was threatening him. He didn't threaten to kill her or nothing like that. I know she went on Nancy Grace saying that he threatened to unalive her, but no, you know, they were having an argument back and forth. He said some words to her, but he didn't threaten to harm her or nothing like that, you know. But I mean, you know, hit that like button though, guys. You gotta subscribe to the channel. Anybody new to the channel, you know, you literally exaggerating and fabricating. LOL. Regular ninjas ain't hiring male escorts to blink on their. Listen, LaShawn Watson. Listen, people, what people do in their own bedrooms and sex life, you know, that's not for Raze to prosecute, and that's not for the government to come inside their bedrooms and prosecute, unless you're dealing with underage minors. You know what I'm saying? Naomi, let's say this is true. Even predators have a preference. Accountability is rare in 2025. Yeah, they're trying to say to the woman, and some of you people are women inside the chat. No offense. I don't want to make y'all feel bad or nothing like that. But what's happening now in America is they're trying to say women have no accountability because women are just victims to the big, bad, rich people, rich men. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And I'm not talking about normal people like me, whatever. I'm talking about, and it could trickle down to normal people like us, like, you know, regular people that travel, Pastor Bro type people. But rich men, they're saying that normal women, you know, those Instagram models, OnlyFans models, eventually they are going to be victims, and two rich athletes, rich celebrities, and they hold no accountability for their decision making if they do decide to hook up with some of these rich athletes. You know what I'm saying? And that is all on the rich celebrity burden of proof to prove he's not guilty. You know, anything that goes bad and wrong with those type of relationships is all on the rich male, and a female has nothing to do with it, and the female is a victim. So that's what USA dodged. They dodged the big bullet right with that one, because Jane, that person testified, she was going to be the main person that set that precedent of a female, OnlyFans female, getting with a guy that's rich, getting all these gifts and getting all that money, and the feds come and say she was coerced, because coercion is a crime. They made coercion a crime. She was coerced by getting a $10,000 a month paid, and they were going to set that precedent, guys. And we dodged a huge bullet. Consenting adults here, no minors. Yep. Why y'all compare this to regular ninjas? Diddy charged for doing Caligula type stuff? Listen, man. You know, they were consenting though. Thing is, did Jane have to go on a plane every time for 3 years? Did he hold a gun to Jane's head to hop on a plane to go do the freak offs? You know, come on. He didn't hold it. She could have just said no. She could have just stayed in her house, paid her own rent, go on OnlyFans, make that $50,000 a month that she said. Thank God for the jury. Thank God the jurors got it right, guys. The jurors got it right. You know what I mean? The jurors got it right. Yes. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that in a minute. Hit the like button. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need y'all to subscribe to the channel. I need y'all. Thank God the jurors got it right. You know what I'm saying? The jurors got this 100% right. Matter of fact, not 100% right. They ain't get it 100% right, because if I was in that jury, I would have found them not guilty of the Mann Act also. I wouldn't let Diddy walk 100%. I wouldn't let Diddy walk 100%. He wouldn't have been found. I would have hung the jury on the Mann Act too. I see why the jurors did that, because they wanted to give the prosecution a mini win. But F that. F that. Nah. They shouldn't have gave the prosecution. They shouldn't have gave the feds no win. They was not. Listen, I know they seen a video of Diddy beating up Cassie, and that's probably, they wanted to make up for that. But that wasn't the charge. and F helping the feds. You know what I'm saying? Why help the feds when they were trying to nail this guy 15 years to life? They shouldn't have gave the feds no victory because you're trying to put a man in prison for life. You know what I'm saying? On some copy and paste RICO racketeering charges, and a charge that the biased judge should have threw out from the beginning. I wouldn't have found them guilty on nothing. Zero. Just to make a point as a citizen of the USA that I don't appreciate the overcharging of American citizens. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Come correct with the charges. You come correct with the charges, then that's when I find them guilty. If they came correct with some type of assault charge or something like that, then yeah, I find them guilty. Shout out to HQ. Heathen Queen Reacts with the $2 donation. How you doing, Heathen Queen? Check out my girl Heathen Queen Reacts channel. You got to check her channel out, guys. She is funny as hell. Check her out. That $2 donation. This is going to the Raze Travel Fund because we're about to get into our travel stuff. You know what I'm saying? Heavy. So this is for next month travel. So we're going to be doing some traveling next month also. Maybe some end of this month also, but definitely next month. Accountability ain't rare. You seem goofy. Well, hey, HQ Reacts. Like I said, let's see. And Heathen Queen is a female, by the way. Like I said, check out her channel. Jane Doe. Jane Doe was trying to frame it. It really, let's just say the feds are trying to frame Jane Doe as a victim who was getting $10,000 a month, right? And she kept going in the plane for 3 years. Every time Diddy called. And then when they finally break up, she would go back and then say, I miss you and this and that. And they lovey-dovey. And then knowing she knew Diddy was a freak. She knew Diddy was a drug user. But she kept going back. She knew Diddy was an addict. If Jane was my daughter, I would have told Jane, stay away from that addict. Why do you keep going back? You know what she would have told me if I was her dad? She would have said, okay, Dad. She would have said, okay, Dad. And she would have still flew back to Diddy. You know why? For the money. Hit that like button, guys. Addicted to the money. HQ React comes back with another $2. Let's see. He would have been acquitted by me. Let me see. Great overreach. Yeah, they overreach. And the thing is, listen. Yeah, I mean, that would have been the fairest thing. I would have told him, look, if y'all really want him, come back with some proper charges. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come back with some proper charges. And like I said, subscribe to HQ Reacts channel. You can't have the jury. Listen, if I was in that jury, HQ Reacts, and thank you for them the donations. And this one, I would have felt insulted. And I believe the jurors felt insulted by the government. I believe the jury felt insulted by the government. They felt like the government was using them to try to put this man in jail for life, right? On some trumped up charges. And the jury said, no, we don't want to be a part of your scheme, your plan. If I was in that jury, my intelligence would have been insulted that you would actually put this case in front of me and expect me to say guilty on this garbage. Do y'all think I was born that night, but not last night? Or do y'all think I'm that idiotic and that stupid? And are y'all going to try to bully me to giving y'all a guilty verdict on RICO when there is not a RICO conspiracy organization here? Are y'all going to try to get me to say guilty on sex trafficking Jane and Cassie when Jane was in a relationship for 3 years? $150,000 she got from that man. Cassie, 13-year relationship. She got $20 million for a lawsuit for her troubles from that man. So my intelligence would have been insulted as a juror. So I would have said not guilty in all accounts. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But let's see. HQ Reacts says, and you guys subscribe to our channel, HQ Reacts, with the $5 donation. I ain't talking about you. I ain't talking to you, Raze. You my boy. I'm talking to chat people. Listen. And the thing is, I think HQ Reacts, like I said, subscribe to HQ Reacts. People in the chat, they've been coming at me for past 3 weeks, right? Ever since I started to realize that this case was a disaster for the feds. You know what I'm saying? And they've been saying, Raze, you know, they proved the Rico, they proved it. I said, no, the hell they didn't prove Rico, Heathen Queen. They did not prove Bad Boy Records was a criminal enterprise. And I said that sets a horrible precedent. And I was in front of that courthouse the whole time. And, you know, so people in the chat are in denial, Heathen Queen. You know, and they are rooting for this judge, this radical judge, but his biased judge, they call him radical, to give Diddy 10 years in prison. But he's not going to do that. But if he does, oh, Trump is coming for that pardon. And I'm going to give you a reason why. I'm with Henry, or more charges are coming. HQ React. So you think some more charges going to be coming from the state? You think the state is going to charge him? And that's why I say, hey, Diddy, use that passport when you finally do get out and head over to a Russell Simmons spot out there inside Indonesia, Valley, where there's no extradition treaty. Like I said, subscribe to HQ Reacts channel. I'm going to drop a channel link inside the chat because she's coming through with the super chats. And I want you guys to subscribe to her channel. You know, she's funny. She's come up here on this channel. She's had her battles with the Passport Bros over the past year and a half. Great times. And like I said, we're going to be doing some Passport Bros stuff over the next few days. We will be about to take another trip. So any donations is going to Raze Travel. You know what I'm saying? You know. And I'm going to drop a channel links. Y'all guys subscribe to our channel. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into her. I said, all right, HQ Reacts. I said Trump is going to pardon on my channel. Okay, so let me drop her channel link right here. She said Trump is going to pardon on her channel. All right, so let me. Hey, don't worry, I did not steal this from you, HQ Reacts. Now HQ Reacts gonna think I'm copying her title. Hey, HQ Reacts, I promise I did not steal your title. Oh man, so. HQ Reacts already said that Trump is going to pardon on her own channel, and I didn't steal it. Hey, I did not steal her topic, right? And let me drop her channel link right here. Hit that like button, though, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Guilty for another adult's choices. Wow. Yes, that's what they were trying to do. The feds were trying to play in all our faces. You know what I'm saying? You know, they were trying to treat us like little kids, like we don't know what's going on, like we're idiots. Yeah, sub up the HQ Reacts channel, you know, and check out her reason why Trump is going to pardon Diddy. And we're about to get into that in a minute. Yeah, subscribe up. Yeah, and she said, "Oh, salute, I'm good." Yes, shout out to you. Thank you for that $2 donation. That's going to Raze Travel. That's her channel right there. Sub up the HQ Reacts. You know, and like I said, I did not steal her title. Rodney Shima, no way Sean Combs will end up doing 15 to 20 years. Now, like I said, you know, Rodney Shima, like, you know, this judge is biased. And right there, subscribe to our channel right there, HQ Reacts. Now, let me play Now let me play something from now we played the jurors, what the jurors was thinking. I say congratulations to the jury. Y'all save America from setting an awful precedent. Now, y'all remember Ray J, right? Before we get into the Trump situation, y'all remember Ray J. Now, I've been playing the Ray J saying, look, Diddy should have been charged with something different. He was overcharged. And I was saying Ray J is Nostradamus, right? Ray J is Nostradamus, and Ray J was like Free Diddy, and people was laughing at Ray J. Like, Ray J this, Ray J that. Ray J had an updated comment on after the Diddy verdict was read. But this was right before, and I'm going to play after.
I feel like it's becoming a circus act for stuff that doesn't make any sense for what Diddy's being charged for. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening, and we all agree with that. But a RICO, racketeering, sex trafficking, like I've been with Diddy a long time. And if I haven't seen any of these kind of heinous acts happening, then where was I when it was happening? If you told me that the Kardashians was being charged for racketeering, I might believe it. But Diddy, sex trafficking, and all these other extra things, like it's to me, knowing him, knowing the situation, being around with most of the people that's testifying, you know, I just feel like there's somebody at the top who's making a statement, who's making a point. I'm sure Diddy got the point. Free Diddy, he got the point. He's chilling now.
That's not how it works.
I mean, man, I know I get it, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, it's not okay to throw something extra on a man when the charges could have been something totally different.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with Ray J, and people laughed him out of the building. You know what I'm saying? He said Free Diddy, and you know, and looking back, you know, we all should have wore Free Diddy shirts, to be honest with you guys. I know we didn't like the domestic violence, but we all should have wore Free Diddy shirts, because the thing is, the feds was on some BS, you know what I'm saying? And now I see. So shout out to Ray J. And well, Zed is in the building, and like I said, subscribe to HQ. Now, Zed, Diddy is the average black man. This is what black women need to realize. Now, Zed, are you happy that Diddy is free, Zed? You know, Zed, you should be happy Diddy is free, a black man, because, you know, I'm sure Zed, you know, you're a female, but Zed, I think you realize that the feds overreach with this one, Zed. You know, I don't think Zed want to see injustices and unfair criminal practices and unfair practices by the government, you know, in the USA. You know, Zed, he is going to jail. Well, technically he's in jail right now, Henry, but the thing is, we'll see how much time he gets. Like I said, once again, the feds are asking for, but the prosecution is asking for 5 years. Diddy's team is saying no, 21 months. Diddy, like I said, they're going to have a pre-sentencing hearing on this Tuesday coming up. So we're going to cover that also. Diddy should have been thrown away from the murder for hire, Tupac death, idiot Keefe D already told on him. Case should have been wrapped up. Now, the thing is with that is just Keefe D saying stuff. He is locked up right now. If they bring that charge, then we can have that day in court, and I'll cover that. But that's not a part of this case at all. That is just hearsay. That is just somebody saying something, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? you know when you come up with that charge, you know the man Act statute of limitations is 5 years. Is the Cassie's charge valid? Now Cassie's charge was, what was that? 2018 he did that. The Continental. Ah, man, let me see. Who is in this building? Hit the like button. You know, because I'm just trying to figure out what this judge is going to do, and I don't trust the judge, because the judge is biased. But let's see. So that was Ray J. Let's see the updated Ray J. This is Ray J after the verdict.
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, the big charges got dropped. No, he should have been cleared of all things, everything that was on the paper. I mean, flying people in and out, and they do what they want to do consensually is crazy. Civil domestic violence case, total different thing, total different opinion. Everybody would have had a total different feeling about this. I really think he's going to get out today. He should get out today on bail. He shouldn't be on bail, but I just feel like he's coming home. And I think Puff, at this point, when he comes out, just take a deep breath and chill, bro. And don't invite nobody over. Just chill with the fam. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening. But it is a celebration. But it's weird. But I think he's coming out today. I'm having an actual celebration party today. So we've been partying since 8. And I've been playing Diddy all day. And I'm gonna be playing Diddy throughout the rest of the day. Because this is a celebration for not getting done the wrong way. Again, everybody said from the jump, we don't justify certain things we've seen from the domestic violence point of view. And yes, if it was civil, if it was domestic, if it was a domestic violence case, it would be a effing problem. But that's not what this is. So if we're talking about the justice system, we can't pick and choose who to do like this. We have to keep it very neutral. And I think this was one-sided. And I think that the biggest counts are dropped. And I think that alone, with time served, should allow him to post bail and be home in Miami by 9 a.m. in the morning for breakfast.
Well, his bail was denied. But, let's give it up to Ray J anyway, because, he was looking forward to that party. But, he told Diddy, when you get out, just chill. You know what I'm saying? And don't party with other people, party with your family, whatever. Don't go crazy. But Ray J made some points, but he didn't get bail because the biased judge denied the bail. But it is what it is. And like he mentioned, the domestic violence stuff, if it was charged properly, you know what I'm saying? He just, Ray J was saying stuff that, that I was saying, you know what I mean? Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our HQ Reacts channel. Our channel link is right there, highlighted. Ray J don't remember what happened, says Adam Cox. Ray J can't wait. Freak celebration party, says Vanessa Para. Ray J missing the freak off, says Henry H. It already came in him, says Adam Hawks. Ray J saying he ain't even seen Diddy know nothing. All right. They're going to give Diddy the max, says Desmond, to appease his haters, and then Trump the ex-con will intervene. Don the con to the rescue, says Desmond. I hope what you've done comes out, says Chief. Is Ray J his boyfriend or his best friend? Well, Ray J was his friend. I don't know about best friend. There's no reason for Trump to pardon Diddy. Diddy is getting off enough as it is. He has done some horrible things. Now, I'm going to tell you why Trump is going to pardon Diddy. I'm going to get to the main thing. In the event that this judge does something crazy, right? Now, I told you guys that I don't mind Diddy sitting for a minute. I don't mind him sitting for 2 years because of the beatdown of Cassie. Because the statute of limitations, passed, so they couldn't charge him with that, right? So they were looking for something. They were looking at his taxes. They were looking at something to charge him with, right? And they decided to go with the RICO route. Now, the assault happened at the Continental out there inside LA, California. Now, the maximum for domestic violence on a state charge for domestic violence in California is the maximum 4 years in prison, right? Now, people wanted to put him in jail for life, 15 years for that. No way in hell. And I said it would be wrong for this judge to go higher than the recommendation of 5 years for the prosecution, right? If that judge goes higher than 5 years, it's going to be some protests at the courthouse because that'll be kind of like just making up for the beatdown. But the thing is, if he was charged with the domestic violence, he will only be subject to only getting the maximum 4 years. So why are you trying to give him 5 years? Why are people saying they want him to do 10 years, 20 years? Because each count of the Mann Act is up to 10 years, right? That's overkill. And Trump is going to come in and pardon him if that happens. And I'm going to get into hardcore evidence that Trump will pardon him if he goes over the 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the defense saying this only should be only 21 months with the guidelines. Diddy would be a first-time offender. He was arrested before, but he was never convicted of a crime before. So there's a point system they do with sentencing and these federal, guidelines and federal charges. And experts are saying he's looking at about really anywhere from time served to 2 years, right? And since this judge is biased, some people are saying he might give him like 3.5 years, whatever. He wants him to sit. Okay. Now, I'm not for the making up to get him for the domestic violence because Cassie really did. She got paid $20 million for her problems and $10 million from the hotel. So $30 million. The statute of limitations is passed for that. And it is what it is. I mean, she didn't file charges for it. I mean, it is what it is. He got paid $20 million. Move on. So really, I don't really like making up, for the beatdown to give him a few years. But so be it if it's only two years. If it's only 2 years or 3 years, so be it. I'm not going to cry and protest about it, right? But if he goes up past 5 years, there's going to be some protests at the courthouse. And Trump will pardon, definitely. And I'm going to get into the some real hardcore evidence that Trump will pardon. All right. Let me see. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Christine Estrada, what do you think traffickers did? What do you think traffickers do? People are so ignorant. Well, if I was in the jury, I would think of what I consider a trafficker. A drug trafficker is somebody that transports kilos of cocaine across state lines and, Pablo Escobar type stuff. International drug trafficking. That's not what Diddy did. Diddy had some employees buy him some 8 pills of ecstasy, and he got high. He got him some weed, you know what I'm saying, and for some personal use, you know what I'm saying. And he gave some of his friends some stuff to get high, you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. Consenting adults, no minors. As far as human trafficking, I consider human trafficking, kids that's kidnapped, adults that's kidnapped, held beyond their will, tied up in a car, in the trunk of a car, taken to a building, forced to do sex acts on people. I can say some sorts of pimping out underage people, pimping out females could be, if you violent to them, pimping them out, putting them out on the street to make money, putting them in certain clubs to make money for you while you profit. You know what I'm saying? That's a form of sex trafficking, right? Diddy didn't do that. Diddy wasn't profiting. Diddy wasn't pimping out Cassie. Diddy wasn't pimping out Jane. Diddy wasn't pimping out minors. Let me get to some of your comments. Beats people treatment, lives or proven facts. This dude is sick and clearly has dirt on a lot of politicians and powerful people, says Will. So Will, you're not happy with the verdict. So the people that's not happy with the verdict, y'all free to comment in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I just said I agree with the jurors, but hey, you can disagree. Ray J want to get taken by the Punisher and next freak off did Diddy needs to get life now. Why you need did he kill anybody? I didn't see him kill anybody during this trial. I mean, if you got evidence that he unalived somebody, then we could talk about that, you know what I'm saying? But you're not, like I said, if you want to get him on beating up Cassie, nobody gets life for beating up somebody unless the person dies. Like I said, in California, it's 4 years for domestic violence. That's the max. So why am I rooting for Diddy to get more than 4 years for beating up Cassie on video? You know what I'm saying? Well, that's not fair. That's not fair. I mean, I think it's because most of y'all going off emotion rather than logic. LOL. Why would a judge grant bail when Diddy's own lawyers admitted he's a violent person in their closing arguments? Well, yeah, and the thing is, Diddy's lawyers had to go ahead and admit that, he did do the domestic violence and this and that. He's sorry about that. It is what it is, because he can't. They can't say that he's not, violent when he's on video doing that. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, all right, let's just go ahead and admit that. But listen, domestic. All right, fine. Don't give him the bail. But the thing is, domestic violence is only up to 4 years for the max. I'm talking about the max. So people commit domestic violence in California, and they still don't even get 4. They get like probation, 6 months, a year. People want to put this man in jail for 15 years to life, LaShawn, for beating up Cassie, which is a joke. Get the hell out of here. Alive Inside is in the building. Tisa is now claiming that Diddy's team is trying to silence creators like her, and that the judge will take that into consideration when sentencing. I would love to see her get sued. Now, like I said, shout out to Fake Miko and the Live Inside. Shout out to you. Now Tisa, Tisa is doing what Tisa tells doing that channel over there. This judge. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, if Diddy wants to get out quicker, let's just say, if the judge sentenced him to 3 years with time served, so he'd be basically doing like another 2 years in prison. If Diddy would want to get out quicker, the judge should sentence Diddy to 10 years. Because if that biased judge sentenced Diddy to 10 years, Trump will 100% pardon him. 100%. So if Diddy wants to get out quicker and not sit for 2 years, he should not want the judge to sentence him to 3 years, because he's going to have to sit that. Trump will pardon Diddy if he gets anywhere more than 5 years in prison, guys, by his judge. Because Trump 100%, well, all right, I'm going to say 99% chance Trump will pardon him. And remember my prediction. The night before of the verdict came in. I predicted Diddy was going to be found not guilty on both RICO and sex trafficking, but guilty on both accounts of the Mann Act, right? That was my prediction. You know, you see it right there on the screen. Now, if Diddy wants to get out quicker, that judge is going to have to sentence him to more than 5 years, so Trump could step in and say, this is atrocious, this is a injustice, this is a weaponizing of the criminal justice system, and get a pardon. Now, if the judge sentenced Diddy to 3 years or 2 years, he's going to have to sit. He's going to have to sit for like a year because of the time served, whatever, or 2 years. He's going to have to sit, right? The only way, well, Trump will pardon him if he gets 5 years or more. That's my prediction. You know what I mean? I'm yapping about my prediction in this case, which I've been right before. You know what I'm saying? I've been right before. You know, shout out to Diddy. He's in the building. Hi, Diddy. Trump has the black man's back, says Westner. Shout out to Westner. You know, and shout out to Westner. Congratulations, Puff Daddy. Drop your friends and mind your business. Leave the thirsty fans alone, says Stormy. Nah, his appeal will be under a year, says Walking and Talking with Mr. Green. So you think his appeal will be under a year? Trump would never pardon Diddy. Oh, yes, he will. I'm 99% sure he will under certain circumstances. The judge would have to sentence him more than 5 years. All right. Trump won't pardon him. Facts. Okay, we're going to see. We're going to see John H. Ebabine. Tisa better be careful. These celebrities are watching and won't hesitate to come after some of these content creators, says Ebabine. A Frico is not a Rico, says Alice Hood. Yeah, a Frico. Yeah, they was giving out those shirts at the court. Jerez, no, Trump don't do it. All that smack Diddy talked about, you F that. Now Trump knows that if he does pardon Diddy, Diddy would praise him. It won't be no more smack talk. So Trump don't really care about the former smack talk. Trump just wants some good press, and Diddy will give him great press by praising him and kissing his ass if Trump does pardon him. So he's going to get a lot of great publicity. You know what I'm saying? Trump will, you know, from Diddy at least. You know what I'm saying? Free P. Diddy, Joey, lucky guess. No, hey, it was an educated guess. Educated guess when I predicted the not guilty RICO and sex trafficking and guilty in the Mann Act. Trump does more for blacks than Barack Obama, says Westner. All right. Maria's in the building. No RICO now. So yes, for sure, Trump will pardon Diddy. Says, how you doing, Maria? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? You know, AMG says, not you, Razor. Thank you for the $2 donation. This is going to the Razor Raze Travel Fund, by the way, for next month. Not you, Razor. Some other dude was yapping. Oh, all right, two Canadian dollars. That's okay. I'm used to being called a yapper and a loud mouth, big mouth idiot. So I don't know the difference, but thank you for that $2 AMG demon. I mean, I appreciate you. That's going to raise your Raze Travel Fund for next month. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for y'all donations. He deserved to stay in jail for many years, says Linian Fiza. Listen, Linian, I told you 4 years for the domestic violence in California. Why would we want him to do more than 4 years? Why would you want him to do more than 4 years? I mean, I think that's bad. Now, let's get into why Trump is going to do this pardon. If he is sentenced to more than 5 years. Hell, I think even more. I think if it's 4 years, if he's sentenced to 4 years, I think Trump is going to pardon him. I think the only way Trump won't pardon him is if he's only sentenced to 2 years or 3 years. If he's sentenced to four years or more, Trump is going to come through with the pardon and get that good press and say, look, my man wasn't convicted on RICO. He wasn't convicted on sex trafficking. He beat the feds. He beat that court. Trump hates the court system. He does not like James Comey, who was the father of the lead prosecutor, the female prosecutor. Trump is going to come in and pardon this guy. I'm telling you, 99% sure about it. Now, let me play this. Now, do y'all know the boxer Jack Johnson? He was a black man, a black boxer from the early 1900s, right? And he used to beat ass. You know what I'm saying? He used to beat ass. But he also used to deal with females, some white females, and they used to say that he used to transport females across state lines, right? For sex. Okay. And Jack Johnson right there. Okay, right there. Jack Johnson. All right, Jack Johnson right there. All right. And Jack Johnson himself was convicted underneath the Mann Act. Hit the like button, guys. He was convicted. They went after him on the Mann Act. Similar to like Diddy has been convicted on the Mann Act because they could not get Diddy on the sex trafficking. They cannot get Diddy on the RICO racketeering. So they got Diddy on the Mann Act. So they added those two charges to make sure they stacked the deck against Diddy. The feds stacked the deck against Diddy to make sure they get a conviction, right? And that's what they did with this guy on the screen, Jack Johnson, the great Jack Johnson, right there. Okay? The great Jack Johnson. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. The great Jack Johnson. And guess what? Guess what happened? Jack Johnson was arrested. They got him. They had arrested him. They were trying to get this man for dating white women. And they were trying to say that those white women were prostitutes, right? Now he married one of them. But they were trying to say, no, they were prostitutes, and he was bringing them across state lines. They had added that law. They made a law. You know what I mean? And that law also said, look, if you get found dealing with other people's wives or vice versa, that's the debauchery law, and that's you also be found guilty, right? So Jack Johnson was found guilty and sentenced to like a year in prison, right? After he was arrested for that, right? And then he left. He went to Europe. He went to Montreal. Then went over to Europe. Had some fights. Had boxing matches, whatever. And they wouldn't let him back inside the USA, right? And then, but he did. He went to prison. He went to prison. He went to prison, and because he had got sentenced, and then he had left. He had left the United States, and then he had left the United States. But then he came back to do his sentence. You know what I'm saying? But then Trump pardoned him. 100 years later, he pardoned him. And let me just play. Let me play it. What happened? And this is why I'm saying Trump is going to pardon Diddy. Hit the like button. It's right there, obvious in everybody's faces that Trump is going to pardon Diddy if he gets more than 4 years. So let's play this bit from Trump, and the reason Trump is going to pardon Diddy, and this is a news article, a news feature about Jack Johnson's situation.
A move that corrected a wrong in American history. President Trump pardoned former heavyweight champion Jack Johnson. Johnson, who was the first African-American heavyweight champ, was convicted in 1913 for taking a woman across state lines for immoral purposes. Well, the woman, Lucille Cameron, who later became his wife, was white, and the two were arrested for violating the Mann Act. President Trump said he was alerted to Johnson's story by actor Sylvester Stallone, and in announcing the pardon posthumously on Thursday said, "We have done something today that was very important because we righted a wrong. Jack Johnson was not treated fairly, and we have corrected that, and I'm very honored to have done it."
There you go, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, guys. Trump will pardon Diddy, 99% sure. If he gets sentenced by this biased judge to 4 years or more, Trump will swoop in and pardon Diddy, guys. Hit the like button, and I'm coming with my opinion, but I'm doing educated opinions over here on this channel, guys. I'm not saying it. The Mann Act, right? The Mann Act was used to convict Jack Johnson. Trump gave Jack Johnson a pardon. Trump will do the same thing with Diddy because Trump obviously does not like the Mann Act. He didn't like it being used against Jack Johnson, and I bet he does not like it being weaponized against Diddy. There's no way, even if this biased judge sentenced Diddy to 10 years in prison, that Trump will not pardon Diddy. So really, Diddy has nothing to worry about. Trump will pardon Diddy, guys. Trump will pardon Diddy anyway. Okay, I just played for you the evidence, right? It's my educated guess that Trump would say, wait a minute, you beat the feds at their own game. They stacked the deck against you. You beat them at RICO. You beat them on RICO. You beat them on sex trafficking. But they got you on this 100-and-something year law, the same law that I pardoned Jack Johnson for. Now history is going to repeat itself, and I'm going to pardon another black man, and that black man just happens to be Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy. Do you guys agree? Let's say in the chat. Hex said 3 to 5 years. The judge don't like the puffer belly. He don't like him. But the thing is, if he gets out of line with this sentencing, Trump will pardon him. Trump will pardon him, guys. I come with receipts. You know what I mean? Trump controls black community with puppet strings. LOL, bro knows what moves folks is insignificant like blank pardons. LOL, let's see what y'all say when he start pardoning every cop killer of blacks. LaShawn Watson. Well, listen, if he pardons Diddy, right, because of a weaponized criminal justice system, so be it. Let him pardon whoever the hell he wants to pardon. But we have to stop we can't let the feds criminalize or weaponize their justice system, justice department. Just because you don't like Diddy's songs, just because maybe Diddy, has freakish sex acts in his own private time, you cannot allow the federal government weaponize the federal RICO. You can't allow this stuff to go on and happen. He beat those charges. So your bias has to stop at some point, because we can all be charged with nonsense. And if they could get somebody, a billionaire like Diddy on these trumped up charges, they could get you too, LaShawn Watson. And you will be crying for Trump to pardon you also. You ain't gonna be worried about who else Trump pardons. You just gonna be like, please, Trump, pardon me. I was convicted unfairly. I was sentenced unfairly. Please, Trump, save me. Trump, save me. You can't cry. Listen, we can't have the criminal justice system weaponizing stuff. Now y'all know dealing in prostitution, it should not be a 10-year sentence. That's weaponizing. That's taking advantage right there. You know what I mean? And Trump would have to step in. You know what I'm saying? Trump would have to step in at that point. It is what it is. Yeah, he said he's gonna make sure Diddy is treated fairly. You know what I mean? And Jack Johnson was generally a stand-up guy. Diddy is not, so Trump wouldn't pardon Diddy since it would not get him only any positive press for if there is no self-interest for him. He does not do things. But I think he would get a positive press. I think he would get positive press. Because let's just say the judge say 10 years. There's going to be outrage for that, bro. Alive inside. There's going to be outrage. Believe it or not, there's going to be outrage. It's going to be protests. Because, it's going to be protests. People are going to be wondering, what is this? It's not going to look right for this judge to sentence him to 10 years. Like I said, if you wanted to make up for him beating up Cassie, that's only a max of 4 years in California, domestic violence. So what are we doing? He was found not guilty of the RICO racketeering. It's not a criminal organization. He was found not guilty of that stuff. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking, Jane, and so he doesn't deserve more than 4 years. If he was charged with domestic violence in California, the max for that is only 4 years. So yeah, no, Trump will look like a hero doing that. Now he won't look like a hero to the people that just want to see Diddy buried for their own biases, but it is, but they don't matter, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't matter, I mean, it is what it is. And Cassie enjoyed the trains, Wesner. And let's play for you what Trump said exactly. If he felt that Diddy is going to be treated unfairly, he will consider giving him a pardon. I believe that the combination of the Jack Johnson pardon, the Mann Act, which Diddy is convicted of, if this judge go over 4 years, I believe right now Trump will have an excuse to say, he's being treated unfairly. Wait a minute, he beat the big charges, and now the federal government, they're trying to make up. Well, the prosecution and the judge is unfairly sentencing this man, and Trump, I believe, will step in.
The Apprentice. You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Mr. President,
Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Now, do y'all consider, if Diddy is to get sentenced over the recommended sentence by the feds, well, the prosecution wants 5 years, as Flirt Diva says, right? Flirt Diva says 5 years they want, right? 4 to 5 years. If this radical judge gives him more than 4 to 5 years and goes for the max of 10 years, because technically he could give him 10 years on each of those Mann Act charges that he's convicted of. That's going to be, do y'all consider, I'm going to ask you guys, do y'all consider that Diddy being treated unfairly? If the judge goes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, would y'all consider that being Diddy getting treated unfairly in this case, since he beat the major charges, and now you're gonna go past what what the prosecution is even recommended. Trump would have to pardon him at that point. Trump will 100% have to pardon him at that point. You're right? And like I said, heck, I believe 99% chance, even if the judge sentences him to 4 years, I believe Trump will pardon him anyway. Because he doesn't like the Mann Act, and he did it for Jack Johnson. I think if the judge sentenced him to only time served or 2 years, I don't believe Trump will pardon. I think Trump will like just let it go. Let's say 3 years. If the judge say 3 years, because that's going to be time served, and Diddy had to sit 2 years, then I don't believe Trump. I think Trump will just let it go. If it's 4 years or more, I believe Trump is going to step in and pardon Diddy. Hit the like button. Let's say you guys. I don't know. Let's see. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Yep, I agree. Says, okay, so you agree that Trump will, yeah. In that situation, in the situation I just put out, Rogue Moonchild, he may sit down for a year or get time served. He ain't going to get for a year for dealing with working shorty. Yeah, that's the thing. Problem is we got a rogue judge. We got a biased judge. You know what I'm saying? LaShawn says, so y'all keep mentioning this Trump pardon, need to realize it's only because the history of Jack Johnson as loving white community, not caring about helping other black boxers. Well, LaShawn, that's your wish, but we got to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going by what Trump said. He said, look, if Diddy is being treated unfairly, and I believe he will be getting treated unfairly if he is given more than 4 years in prison. I mean, you know, and I think Trump would feel the same way. LaShawn Watson. Now, like I said, Diddy haters and people that's biased, y'all want him to get life. So y'all are coming at it from a totally unfair, biased point of view. So, you know, shout out to you, Yvonne Curry. Says hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Yes, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Like I said, I put the Jack Johnson stuff up there, you know, because, you know, because I'm telling you guys, that, you know, Trump is going to pardon this guy, you know, under certain circumstances. You know what I mean? Desmond says, you, my boy, putting my credibility on the line. Hey, my credibility is on the line. Listen, Desmond, look at that prediction right there. Verdict, this was the day before the verdict came out. I said, my prediction is not guilty. RICO and sex trafficking. Diddy will be found not guilty of RICO and sex trafficking, but will be found guilty on the Mann Act. I hit the nail on the head with that one, and I gave my reasons because of the predicates. There was a hung jury on the RICO. And I said, wait a minute. People were saying, he's going to be found guilty and all and this and that. Nope. I did the calculations, and I came out with my prediction. And my prediction with this is, it's all if he's hit with 4 years or more, Trump is going to pardon him. If it's under 4 years sentence, Trump will not pardon him. Trump going to let it go. You know what I'm saying? And it's just my prediction. It's not like I'm a lawyer or anything like that. It's not like I'm looking for clients and stuff. So if I'm wrong, that nobody's going to hire me to be their lawyer. I don't care. I'm just giving my prediction like everybody else. You know. Yeah, Trump is still feeling some type of way. But the thing is, in that clip, it doesn't really matter because Trump, at this point, he knows he's going to get some good, you know, words said about him by Diddy if he is pardoned. So really, the old stuff, it doesn't matter. You know, he's going to be like, I flipped Diddy. I flipped him. Yeah, he said some bad things about me when I was running for president. But now that I pardoned him, now guess what? Diddy is going to heap praise on Trump. And that's what Trump cares about. You know what I mean? It's what have you done for me lately? And Trump is that type of guy. You feed his ego. That's all he care about. And Diddy will feed his ego. You know what I'm saying? If he does pardon him, that's all he cares. He don't care about the past at that point. Judge Mathis said this. So Judge Mathis said the same thing. So Judge Mathis saying what I'm saying. Shout out to Judge Mathis. You know, shout out to Judge Mathis. Jack Johnson was a hero of the black community. Diddy is not. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And the thing is, Trump is going to pardon this man if he gets more than 4 years in prison. Like I already said, it's in the works. James Comey, the daughter of James Comey was on this case. Trump hates James Comey, the former FBI director. This is a perfect storm. The Mann Act. Diddy was convicted of the Mann Act, the same Mann Act that he pardoned Jack Johnson on. So right now, Trump has a real reason to pardon Diddy because of the Mann Act. He could say, I don't like the Mann Act. I pardon Jack Johnson. So there's precedent there. It's not like he's pardoning Diddy because he got convicted on a RICO racketeering or the sex trafficking. No. Now, let's say if he was convicted on that, then that'll be a little bit different. Then y'all can say, yeah, I don't see Trump pardoning him on a sex trafficking in RICO. Since he was found not guilty in that, Trump could say, oh, they trumped up these Mann Act charges just like they did with Jack Johnson. I got to step in here. Oh, it lines up. It's a perfect storm for Trump to pardon Diddy. I know what I'm saying. I'm telling you, just be logical. Like I said, when I told you guys he was going to be found not guilty of RICO, when I told you he was going to be found not guilty of the sex trafficking, I told y'all to get your bias blinders off. I said, take that over there to Tisa Tell's channel. I said, I'm going to give it to you guys straight. I'm telling you guys, Trump is going to pardon this guy if he gets 4 years or more sentence. Like, it all depends on if he gets 4 years or more, guys. If he gets 4 years or more. You know, it is what it is. You know? Yeah, Trump doesn't like the Mann Act. He's going to use... Listen, even if Trump doesn't really care about the Mann Act, he already used the Mann Act as the reason for him to pardon Jack Johnson. So there's a precedent set there. He could look like a hero. He could get some good press, courtesy of Diddy. It is what it is. Even if Trump don't really care about the Mann Act, he can say he does and this and that. And he can use that as a reason to pardon Diddy. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for your donations. All the donations are going to go to Raze Travel Fund. I appreciate all you guys. We're going to be covering some other cases also in the States. Also, for our hot topics on the channel. Luigi Mangione, we're going to be covering that when that trial starts. And some other stuff also we're going to be covering. Shout out to Maria. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Listen. He was acquitted of the real crimes. You know what I mean? So he didn't do a crime. You know what I'm saying? Now, jaywalking is a crime. And, everybody jaywalks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. Now, he did some prostitution. You want to give a guy 10 years for prostitution, really? We doing that here in America now these days. Hey, I mean, if you want, listen, if you want to do that, then that's up to you, Pat. But the thing is, I'm not doing that. Everybody got a right to their own opinions, and I'm not trying to sway you guys at all. But I'm just, I'm just being fair over here. Larry Hoover was pardoned, yes. Listen, if Trump could pardon Larry Hoover, y'all know Larry Hoover, he can pardon Diddy for some sex crime, for some prostitution, you know what I'm saying? He can do that. That's the least he can do, right? Hit that like button, guys. Listen, Diddy getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, not the Medal of Honor, Medal of Freedom. He's not going to go there. Well, Mayor Adams might give him the key to the city back again, right? Oh, man. Maria comes through with the 10 Canadian dollars. So thank you for the Raze Travel Fund donation. $10 Canadian dollars. I appreciate you, Maria. Canadian dollars, Maria. I think I'm heading back to DR. Maria, to meet Maria. Using this $10 in a Raze Travel Fund. I appreciate you, Maria. Thank you. Yes, Maria. Yes, I'm using that to travel fund. You know, and that's what I do over here. You know, I travel and do stuff, you know. And Maria, that's gonna help. Also, that goes to my cerveza fund, my beer fund. Also, I like to drink beers over here on the channel, so I have fun with that. People donate to that when I'm doing the travel stuff. So yeah, but I'm gonna use these because we're gonna be doing some travel topics over the next few days. Also mixing in with the Diddy stuff. I might go live from the hearing. I might go down to Lower Manhattan just for the hell of it one last time. Go live from the Diddy hearing one last time. See some of the YouTubers out there. The Diddy hearing. Go to Chinatown, give you some roast duck, hang out a bit. You know what I'm saying? See some of them Chinese players play basketball. They be balling out there, man. They be balling. You know what I mean? I can't believe the Mann Act is a real law. Yeah, Captain Caveman. It's a real law, and it's still, they put it out there. They were trying to get Jack Johnson, and they got him. If it Trump, you know, came through and said, you know what, we're going to use that pardon. You know, Trump isn't pardoning Diddy the Diddler. Hey, Bruce B. You know, listen, you might be right, but the thing is, I say he is going to pardon him. But you might be right. Like I said, anybody that says Trump is not going to pardon him, you free to say over here. You know what I'm saying? Because you might be right, but I'm just giving y'all my educated guess. And I believe, Raze, you make more predictions than Muhammad Ali did in his prom. Says Desmond. Listen, you know, I just think for when people say it doesn't benefit Trump, Trump doesn't care. Do y'all know Trump is worth $1 billion already anyway? Trump don't care. Trump worth, or if he's not worth $1 billion, he's close to $1 billion. Trump doesn't care. Trump just like headlines. Trump likes headlines. Trump likes sticking his nose in stuff he probably shouldn't even be involved in. There could be a war going on and Trump enters stuff that is petty, and you know, he does not have to be involved in certain things. And Trump will enter this because he knows he's an entertainer. He wants press. He wants headlines. I don't even think he cares about bad press. Trump. He doesn't care about bad press at all. He doesn't care. So the people that want Diddy to be going to jail for 10 years to life, do you think Trump really cares if he gets bad press for pardoning Diddy? No, he would laugh at the people that he would go after people saying he's a bad guy for pardoning him. He would laugh at them. He likes that stuff. He likes confrontation. So he ain't gonna care about bad press. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. You know. Pat Yeager says denial is a disease, buddy, but we're good. Hey, you know, you listen. Listen, I put, you know, Pat, you know, I just laid down a foundation of why Diddy will be pardoned if he gets sentenced to 4 years or more. I think my reasoning is great, and I believe it's going to happen. It's not denial. It's just my educated guess. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, you can have your opinion. You know what I'm saying? But come back here, Pat. I noticed some people wasn't coming back once I was, you know, correct about him being found not guilty of the major charges. I didn't see certain people did not come back to my panel to discuss. Just the facts. Where you at? Just the facts. Just the facts. Where you're at? Just the facts. You were arguing me down, saying that, you know, I got to go by the law. The jury is going to go by the letter of the law. And I was saying the jury is going to practice jury nullification. This is not looking like a RICO racketeering. Those predicates don't mean jack blank because the jury is going to see that this is not a RICO racketeering case. Just the facts. Where you're at, just the facts. Where you're at, just the facts. I haven't seen you since the verdict came out. Just the facts. I said I was coming back on live if he was going to be found guilty of that stuff. You know that? I haven't seen certain people that was talking trash, saying that Raze, you need to know the law, Raze. The jury has to follow the law. I said, wait a minute. The jury could practice jury nullification. They can say, I don't agree with the law and find them not guilty. They tried to give him as he was a cartel on his own. Yes, R-Dub, right? You know what I mean? A one-man Rico. A one-man Rico. Raze, he pardoned Johnson to gain favor. He won't gain anything from pardoning Dittler. No one respects him. Hey, real one, I just said he wants the headlines. Trump don't care. Trump gives no F's. Real one, and shout out to you, real one. But Trump doesn't care about that stuff. What little people would say that Trump did a great thing by pardoning Diddy? He'll take that. He'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Trump goes by the beat of his own drum. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about bad press. You know what I mean? He loves good press. So if he could get some people to say there's a good thing from him doing that for Diddy, he'll accept that. And like I said, I think Trump likes to piss people off anyway. Trump likes to piss people off. Y'all don't know. So I think Trump probably gets a kick out of pissing people off and making the haters mad. So I think Trump likes doing stuff to make haters mad so he can go back and forth with them too. Trump likes getting into back and forths with people. So I don't think he really cares. Hit that like button, guys. Shout out to Yvonne Curry. You gotta hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Get the lights up. Raze, give y'all his reason why Trump will pardon Diddy if he gets 4 years. But like I said, this is on contingent of the rogue judge, this John Wayne judge, this biased judge, giving him 4 years or more sentence, guys. Now, we're going to be out there. We're going to see on Tuesday, during the pre-sentencing phase, what's going on out there. But I believe this judge is acting kind of funny and biased, and he's trying to get revenge for the feds getting beat on the RICO and sex trafficking, guys. So, I mean, it is what it is. Judge didn't like Diddy versus lawyers admitted Diddy was violent, delusional. Diddy fan logic versus actual logic. Listen, listen. Listen. The judge used the violent thing as an angle to hold him, right? But he's got to release someone. He got to release him, bro. He wasn't convicted of domestic violence. That wasn't the charge. You know what I'm saying? If you want to charge, you got to come back with the right charges. He was acquitted of that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I mean, the judge could do what he could want to do, but the president is gonna overwrite that. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the judge to be doing this stuff. Do y'all really believe Cassie is really in danger, guys? Do y'all really believe Diddy is going to do something to Cassie? If he does, so be it. But he's going to go to jail, and he's going to get charged for that. And she has to go to the police this time. You know what I'm saying? She can't be, not going to the police and coming out 10 years later saying Diddy did this. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The judge is going to try to play John Wayne. But the thing is, that's when Trump is going to step in and say, no, I hold the real power here. You know what I mean? We went through a whole trial already. He's been in jail for 10 months already. Y'all try to get all his assets. Y'all failed. You try to hit him with 15 years of life. Y'all failed. Y'all overcharged them. You know what I mean? You might succeed because the Mann Act is part of the overcharging too. You charge him with 2 counts of Mann Act, which carries a sentence of up to 10 years on each charge. So technically the judge could do 20 years, right? He's not going to do that, but you know what I'm saying? He could. Who knows? I mean, maybe the judge gets drunk the night before, you know what I'm saying, sentencing and say, I'm going to give him 10 years or something, I don't know. Maybe the judge want to make a name for himself and do something radical. You know what I mean? Maybe the judge wants his own TV show and he gives Diddy 10 years so he can be like Judge Judy and get his own TV show. Who knows? Max says Trump want to be the hero. Yeah. Man, Trump want to be the hero. Yeah, Captain Caveman. Yeah, that was a cartoon in the 70s. Captain Caveman. Yeah. No, we not talking about like our father. We just saying, we just analyzing Trump. See, I'm analyzing Trump's the way he moves, the way his attitudes is, and you know, I'm just going by what he does. You know what I'm saying? And his mannerisms, and he doesn't really care about what people think at all. He doesn't care. You think he'll be doing all these ice raids if he really care? He doesn't care. He gives no F's. Remember, he went through this with the feds. He went through this. He being dragged into court. You know what I'm saying? You know, getting convicted on stuff. You know what I mean? He been through this. He been through this already. So he doesn't like the process. You know what I'm saying? It is weird because he is in charge of the Justice Department now, right? So technically, when you say the government is overcharging, that means Trump is overcharging, but not technically, because this was under the Biden administration, and the lead prosecutor, he resigned when Trump actually won the election, so he knew he was gonna get fired anyway, so he resigned and left, and now, you know, so it's all, you know, it's all. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. A total overreach in the beginning by the federal government, says Yvonne Curry. Yes, Yvonne, and shout out to you. You know what I mean? You know, Rihanna, is he talking ish or speaking facts? He was an insider or you? Where's Rihanna's comment? Gene Deal talking blank again on his live. So Gene Deal back at it again. Now, you know, Gene Deal probably heartbroken by this verdict. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people heartbroken over this verdict, but the thing is, you can't hit somebody with RICO racketeering when there's no RICO racketeering to begin with. I told you guys this was going to happen. I said, look, when you overcharge people with crimes, it happens in murder cases all the time. I keep going back to it. If a guy takes his car, do some reckless driving and kill somebody by accident, and you try to charge him with first-degree murder, you might not get a conviction on first-degree murder. You got to charge him with manslaughter, something like that, to really get a conviction. Because if you overcharge him with first-degree murder, you might get a not guilty on that. So you got to charge people properly in America, because you can't be doing this. You can't be doing what the feds tried with Diddy, because you might not get. You could try it, but the thing is, you might not get the conviction by overcharging. Because you overcharge, you're not going to get the results you want. Now the guy may walk free. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not here to like piss people off or make people feel sad that wanted Diddy to be found guilty. I understand, you know, you don't like him. You wanted him to do life. I don't know why. I mean, but like I said, I didn't see, there was no R. Kelly stuff in this case. So there was no underage minors involved. So I never knew why people wanted him to do life. Unless y'all were believing all the Tony Busby clients and stuff, those lawsuits and stuff. I mean, but that didn't come into play. So I'm going off that's all BS and lies. So there's no minors. There's no real kidnapping inside this case. You know, as far as kidnapping female, they forced them to do sex acts and stuff like that. There's no kidnapping of minors, no underage. So why would I want him to do life in prison? There's no reason for him to do life in prison. Now you're gonna have the YouTubers and the haters that was so invested in this, and they for a whole year they were saying Diddy is done and Diddy is gonna get the max and Diddy should never come home, and you know, they were sucking up to the subscribers that were in their chats that were saying, you know, Diddy deserved to never come home. So some of those YouTubers got in too deep and they couldn't change their mind, even though they seen the evidence. They seen the evidence as the trial went on, and they seen that the feds was not proving their case, but they still stuck with their Diddy is done. Diddy need to go to jail for 25 years to life and this and that. They wouldn't move off of it because they were in too deep. You know what I'm saying? They were in too deep, and I guess they felt like they would be, I guess, they would have egg on their face, right? They would have egg on their face. See, me, I looked at the facts of the case. I gave the feds a chance to prove their case. And after 3 weeks of me going down to that courthouse, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't working for the feds. The feds don't really got a case, right? They don't really got a real case. This is prostitution. This is basically a prostitution case. And the feds really presented it as a domestic violence case, which he wasn't even charged with. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to Sunday Night Smoke podcast is in the building. Salute to Sunday Night Smoke. And the thing is, I keep going back to Cassie, guys. The supposed victim really was the real goon. Because the real evidence of any criminal organization, if you wanted to say criminal organization, was Cassie ordering hits on people. Well, threatening to order a hit on people.
So you're telling me that he showed you a video of who kidnapped Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that
me.
position. You would have been naked. I'm just saying if you.
So
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture.
Is he in the video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a.
Then that's not me.
But I'm just saying. Look, hold on. You have to understand. If I had a picture of you naked.
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
So the
video that he showed you, he's in it.
Yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring my
The
phone.
Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
I saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it. Bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
No, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, I mean, you know, who's giving orders there? You know what I'm saying? Who's really in charge of that criminal enterprise, feds? You should have charged Cassie. If you would have charged Cassie, then you could have pieced together the pieces. You know, you could have said now, you know, Cassie is part of the criminal enterprise. She's threatening to unalive people. And you could have said, well, the person that she said is going to kill you again, you could have just said that she was talking about Diddy. So if you would have used Cassie as not being a victim, but being a co-conspirator as part of this criminal enterprise, maybe you would have nailed Diddy or Rico. If the feds would have used Cassie as an underboss of Diddy or some type, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't. They were talking about Christina Karam, KK, you know, his security guards, stuff like that. As a criminal enterprise, that's not Rico racketeering, guys. They should have used Cassie. LaShawn, what do you think about that? LaShawn, shouldn't they should have used Cassie, right? LaShawn, they should have charged Cassie, LaShawn. Be fair, LaShawn. Cassie should have been in handcuffs, right? Because they would have got him. They would have got him on Rico racketeering. Yeah. They could have said Diddy was Pablo Escobar. And Cassie was Griselda. You know what I'm saying? You know, Cassie was Griselda. And they could have got them. They would have won. All they had to do was arrest Cassie and play this audio, the real evidence. Because they don't got no evidence of Diddy being a boss like this, not threatening to kill somebody. They got Cassie though. Oh, you can't make this stuff up, LaShawn. LaShawn, be fair, LaShawn. Come on, LaShawn, come on, LaShawn. You come on, LaShawn Watson. You know, they would have had him dead to rights. They just would have arrested Cassie, charged them both. On criminal racketeering. Yeah. You see, the feds didn't play this audio. The defense did. Woo! Yeah, Cassie the underboss. Cassie's a pretty little gangster. Yeah, she still sounded sexy. She still sounded sweet and sexy, even though she was threatening to unalive that guy. She still sounded sweet and sexy. Ah, man. Sound like she's more ashamed of the videos being out there, not mad about her getting her freak on. Ah, man, this is this is a wild trial. Yeah, Yvonne, they should have taught. They should have said this. Diddy was Pablo, and Cassie was Griselda. Diddy was John Gotti, and Cassie was Sammy the Bull. I mean, come on, guys, be honest. Come on, this was just such an overreach. This was just such a copy and paste, put together, piece together Rico racketeering charge. This was not needed at all. Not needed at all. And I'm glad the jurors struck it down, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. And I appreciate you guys for giving your opinions, because all your opinions is, how about the gun with the serial numbers? Listen, I mean, the thing is, they should have, if they had an issue with that, they should have charged them separately for that specifically and not put it underneath a RICO. Those are predicates of RICO, right? Weapons charges, gun charges. But the thing is, if there's no criminal enterprise, you have no RICO racketeering. So, like I said, that type of stuff, the arson and stuff, you charge him with that separately. If the statute of limitations are passed, so be it. You move on. You see, the statute of limitations had passed with a lot of this stuff, right? So the feds are trying to be slick and use the RICO racketeering as a way to do it, right? And they failed. They lost. They tried to use that dirty tactic to get him on some of the old stuff that he may have done. No real 100% evidence. You have people testifying. So they tried to blanket carpet bomb him with all of these charges. And did he beat him? Did he beat him? It is what it is. Congratulations to Brian Steele, Mark Agnifilio, Westmoreland, Garages. He had a dream team of lawyers and he got off. Hopefully, and like I said, he's going to get off, because even if this radical judge sentences him to 10 years as bias judge, Trump is going to pardon him anyway. Trump is going to pardon him anyway. Now Cassie acting like she's scared. She wasn't scared when she blackmailed him for $30 million. Like I said, yeah. Do y'all really believe Diddy is going to do something to Cassie? He would be an idiot to do it. And if he does, well, he's going back to jail. That's all. If he does, he's going to jail. So, he'll be an idiot. He'll be an absolute idiot if he comes within 15 feet of Cassie. He'll be an absolute idiot. But you know how this goes, guys. Females go back to people. So if she decides, I wouldn't be surprised if she would get back with Diddy in the future. If I'm Diddy, I would stay away from her. But I wouldn't be surprised if she break up with her husband, that she gets back with Diddy in the future, guys. That's why the government needs to stay out of this. Because, I know it's an abusive relationship. Females go back to their abusers all the time. Listen, and just sometimes you just gotta stay out of it and just let grown folks do what grown folks do. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Gotta let grown folks do what grown folks do. Diddy gonna be a free man with this corrupted president if the money's right? Hey, it doesn't matter. Listen, Trump got all the money in the world anyway. He doesn't need Diddy's money. He didn't need Larry Hoover's money. He didn't need Lil Wayne's money. He didn't need NBA Young Boy's money. He don't need money. What little money Diddy gonna give Trump? Trump got all the money in the world already. He doesn't need Diddy's money. Now I'm sure Diddy would pay if he did ask for money, but he doesn't need his money. And like people were saying, the jurors was paid off. The jurors just seen the case and they did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Look at Ant wishing and hoping and praying more charges are coming. You hoping and praying. Listen, if they get him on real charges statewide, then I'll back it up. I'll go cover that charge and I look at the case. And if I feel he's guilty, I would say guilty. So hey, if they want to charge him with real charges and not some trumped up charges, go ahead and bring it. But I'm just gonna look at it and I'm gonna analyze the situation. You know what I'm saying? And they saying the jurors is paid off, but the jurors seen it like I seen it. The jurors did the right thing.
As one juror is now speaking out anonymously. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has that story.
A juror from the Sean Diddy Combs trial requesting to remain anonymous, slamming the notion that the music mogul's celebrity profile drove their decision. In a statement to ABC News saying, "I found that statement highly insulting and belittling to the jury and the deliberation process," adding, "Our decision was based solely on the evidence presented and how the law stated. We would have treated any defendant in the same manner regardless of who they are." The jury of 8 men and 4 women acquitted the rap titan of the most severe charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, but convicted him on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution as it relates to ex-girlfriends Cassie Ventura and the woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane. An alternate juror telling CNN, though he wasn't part of the deliberations, he agrees with the verdict.
I took a copious amount of notes. I think reading all my notes and looking back at the evidence, I probably would have reached the same conclusion as the other jurors.
Yeah, hit that like button, guys. That was the jurors speaking out, guys. They're going to be getting paid for their interviews and stuff. You know what I mean? Making that money. And I told you guys, that's why you got to subscribe to this channel. I told you guys, in the social media age where you can make money with your interviews and stuff now, you can be the juror to say not guilty on these charges and get interviewed and make a boatload of money. You can start your own YouTube channel, right? And get paid money. I told you to look out for that. I said these jurors is going to be getting paid. And you know what? The best way to get paid is to find them not guilty, because that's even more salacious. That's even better for your career. That's even better for you to get paid after serving on this jury. To monetize you getting you being on this jury, guys. I said it. That's why you got to subscribe to Raze. You got to subscribe to Raze channel, because I be predicting this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Peace 4100 says nope. Not trolling. Diddy needs to sue the government, prosecutors, judge, court, paralegals, bailiffs for him being in jail for nothing, fake charges. He already has mental issues now, PTSD, says Peace 4100. Yeah, like I said, we're going to take it one step at a time. On Tuesday, we're going to be out there, and we're going to be there for the pre-sentencing hearing. I'm going to get me some roast duck out there, Chinatown, Lower Manhattan, and we're going to see what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see what's going on. Maybe the judge has a change of heart and gives them bail on Tuesday. Maybe some other judges, has some conversation with this 2-year judge and say, hey, man, you might as well get this guy bail. Well, I don't know. Maybe, he ain't going to give him bail on Tuesday. But, I'm going to be out there and see what's going to happen. He ain't doing it. Like I said, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Agreed. Says Malakita Campbell. Shout out to you. Agreed. Trump won't get involved in sex and domestic abuse. Sabrina, I believe he will in this case, because Diddy wasn't convicted of the harsh one, sex trafficking, and the RICO racketeering. As far as sex, he'll be getting involved courtesy of the Mann Act, the same thing that Jack Johnson 105 years ago or more, matter of fact, over 120 years, I don't know, years ago, he was convicted of, and the Mann Act, engaging in prostitution across state lines. I think Trump will get involved, and he will pardon Diddy if this biased judge gives him 4 years or more. That's my prediction. The jurors are all walking around in mink coats. Yeah. And the jurors did not need to take a payoff by Diddy, because they were going to get paid for these interviews anyway. You know what I mean? The jurors heard the same evidence that I heard, and I said, you know what? Yeah. Like I said, if I was in a jury, I would have hung the final Mann Act charges. I would have said, no, he's not guilty in the Mann Act either. The jurors were fair, says Maria. Diddy already suffering from drug addiction, sexual addiction, anger issues. Now he probably got PTSD, paranoia, schizophrenia, all that stuff, right? He all messed up. Yeah. Hey, LaShawn. Listen. He's all messed up, LaShawn. He gotta be. Get that man some help, LaShawn. Get that man some help, LaShawn. We gotta get him into the drug program, LaShawn. Anger management program, LaShawn. But LaShawn, you want to keep him locked up 15 years of life, LaShawn. We need to get Diddy some help. We need to get us some anger management classes. We need to go send him to NA, Narcotics Anonymous, LaShawn. We got to get them. They have a program for sexual addiction. Maybe something sexual addiction program. We got to get that man some help, LaShawn. Got to get him some help, LaShawn. Don't lock him up, throw away the key, LaShawn. Look at LaShawn. Look at LaShawn. LaShawn with this man locked up for life. Be fair, LaShawn. Let's see what T. Williams said. This is why you always choose the jury trial over a judge. Diddy would be doing some football numbers if it was up to that biased judge. Yes, if it was up to the judge, if they did a trial by judge, which that would have been insane, he would have been doing life. I can tell right now, this judge don't like Diddy. He would have sentenced him to life. He would have said guilty of the RICO racketeering. He would have said guilty of sex trafficking. He would have convicted him of all charges. You know what I'm saying? And he would have said life. All right, you know what? He probably would have said life. He would have said 25 years. He would have said 25 years. No doubt in my mind that this biased judge would have said 25 years. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. You know. Hit that like button, guys. Like I said, it's been an interest. It was interesting, though. Like I said, it's been interesting. And for guys just joining us, I'm going to tell you guys once again, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel for people that just now. This was the reason I was talking about the Jack Johnson and Trump pardon. For people that I'm not going to go into it, but I'm gonna just play this. So for people that just joining us, this is the reason Trump will pardon Diddy if he gets 4 years or more sentenced by this radical biased judge.
A move that corrected a wrong in American history, President Trump pardoned former heavyweight champion Jack Johnson. Johnson, who was the first African-American heavyweight champ, was convicted in 1913 for taking a woman across state lines for immoral purposes. Well, the woman, Lucille Cameron, who later became his wife, was white, and the two were arrested for violating the Mann Act. President Trump said he was alerted to Johnson's story by actor Sylvester Stallone, and in announcing the pardon posthumously on Thursday said, "We have done something today that was very important because we righted a wrong. Jack Johnson was not treated fairly, and we have corrected that, and I'm very honored to have done it."
The Mann Act, and like I said, if Diddy is sentenced to more than 4 years, Trump is going to say that Diddy is not being treated fairly, and Trump, the president of the U.S. of A, will grant that pardon, guys. Hit the like button, and like I said, shout out to Maria and everybody else who donated. Like I said, shout out to HQ Reacts. Subscribe to HQ Reacts channel. Subscribe to her channel, HQ Reacts. It's going all donation going to Raze Travel Fund, guys. I appreciate you guys for your donations, and like I said, Trump will do that pardon because he got no choice, really. Trump would have no choice because he Trump would have no choice, guys. I'm sorry. He said that he's going to have to pardon people that's been treated unfairly, and if you give them more than 4 years, you're treating Diddy unfairly at that point. Trump would have no choice because then Trump would look like a hypocrite if he don't pardon him. You know what I'm saying? At that point, the Mann Act, he's got to, Jack Johnson. Come on, guys. Be fair, guys. You know, be fair. No, but R. Kelly got convicted on engaging with minors and trafficking. Well, not trafficking, yeah, you know, child pornography and stuff. So R. Kelly charges is different than you know, R. Kelly got charges that I don't think Trump was going to pardon R. Kelly on. Now I know R. Kelly was asking Trump for a pardon or to do house arrest because he feared for his life inside prison, but I don't think Trump is going to pardon R. Kelly because of the charges that R. Kelly was actually convicted on. You know, he was, you know, it was some A minors involved in that. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the difference. You know, well, like I said, shout out to Jack Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Trump did a good thing, pardoning, you know, Jack Johnson. And shout out to Ray J. Ray J, you know, Ray J had it right. You know what I'm saying? People laughed him out of the building. Ray J had it right.
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, the big charges got dropped. No, he should have been cleared of all things. Everything that was on the paper. I mean, flying people in and out and they do what they want to do consensually is crazy. Civil domestic violence case, total different thing. Total different opinion. Everybody would have had a total different feeling about this. I really think he's going to get out today. He should get out today on bail. He shouldn't be on bail, but I just feel like he's coming home. And I think Puff, at this point, when he comes out, just take a deep breath and chill, bro. And don't invite nobody over. Just chill with the fam. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening. But it is a celebration. But it's weird. But I think he's coming out today. I'm having an actual celebration party today. So we've been partying since 8. And I've been playing Diddy all day. And I'm gonna be playing Diddy throughout the rest of the day. Because this is a celebration for not getting done the wrong way. Again, everybody said from the jump, we don't justify certain things we've seen from the domestic violence point of view. And yes, if it was civil, if it was domestic, if it was a domestic violence case, it would be a effing problem. But that's not what this is. So if we're talking about the justice system, we can't pick and choose who to do like this. We have to keep it very neutral. And I think this was one-sided. And I think that the biggest counts are dropped. And I think that alone, with time served, should allow him to post bail and be home in Miami by 9 a.m. in the morning for breakfast.
And shout out to Ray J for calling it. You know what I mean? He said he playing the Diddy songs, the P, the D, the I, the D, the D, the Y. That's Diddy. Oh, Diddy. you know, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. So he been playing the hits. You know what I'm saying? He been playing the Diddy hits. Now Diddy didn't come home. And Judge says, oh, nope. You stay. You stay longer. You ain't going home just yet, bro. Woo! Yeah, that's me. Hey, so he pardoned them, the people at the insurrection, and he's gonna pardon Diddy too. I mean, it is what it is. He pardoned the insurrection people on January 6th. In which he has the right to do. He's the president. And he's going to pardon Diddy too. You think he cared about the bad press for pardoning the January 6th rioters, for people that didn't like the January 6th? He doesn't care. He doesn't care about your people's opinions on him pardoning Diddy either. Y'all really believe a person that pardoned the January 6th insurrection people gives a damn about people on social media, in the chats, about, oh, he bet not pardon Diddy. It's gonna be a bad look. Trump don't give a damn what you guys think. Hit that like button though. Subscribe to the channel. Trump will pardon Diddy if he gets 4 years sentence or more. It's coming. It is coming. It is coming. It is coming. Pardon is coming. And I'm gonna come live too. I'm gonna come live and tell you I told you so. Now I don't think he's gonna pardon him if the judge only gives him 2 or 3 years. Then it's like, well, Trump just gonna leave it alone. If he goes 4 years or more, a pardon is coming, guys. Now y'all shouldn't be that mad about it. Y'all shouldn't want, the federal, courts criminalizing and weaponizing the court system against American citizens. Y'all shouldn't want that, really, to be honest with you. If you look at it from an unbiased point of view, hit the like button, says Desmond. Nope. LaShawn, come on, LaShawn. Be fair, LaShawn. You gotta be fair. R. Kelly was hit with the A minor charges. Oh my goodness. And he was convicted of the A minor charges. LaShawn is different. R. Kelly was charged with dealing with underage minors criminally, and he was convicted. LaShawn. Oh, LaShawn. Come on, LaShawn. Do better. You're better than that, LaShawn. I got faith in you. All you got to do, LaShawn, is Google. All right, let's Google. Let me do it. Since I'm the host of this show, let me Google what R. Kelly was convicted of. Okay? And there's a huge difference. There is a huge difference. You talk picking and choosing. There's a huge difference between R. Kelly and Diddy, guys. For what I've seen in this trial, what was proven, and that was that these were consenting adults, not minors, involved. So let's see what R. Kelly. Let's see. R. Kelly was found guilty of what? Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to find out exactly what R. Kelly, since you said we picking and choosing. Okay. R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering. Now, Diddy was not convicted. Diddy was found not guilty, right? By 12 jurors of his peers, guys. So, all right, racketeering. The charge involved running a criminal enterprise to recruit and exploit women and girls for sex. Okay. Women and girls. LaShawn. That's what R. Kelly. This is what he was convicted of. All right, including acts of sexual exploitation of children, forced labor, and violations of the Mann Act, which prohibits transportation individuals across state lines for illegal sexual activity. The biggest difference was the children. The girls and children, LaShawn. That is a huge difference. And he was convicted of it. Diddy wasn't hit with the children portion of this. There was no evidence of Diddy dealing with children. The feds would have brought it up. They did not bring it up, not once. They had zero people to say that they testified that they were underage. That was not in the charges. Totally different, LaShawn. Okay? Now, he got hit with the sex trafficking also. He was found guilty of sex trafficking. Specifically, R. Kelly violating the Mann Act, which involved the coercion and transportation of women and girls for illegal sexual act. See, women and girls, meaning underage girls. You get what I'm saying? Underage girls. All right? And underage minors, they can't consent if you're an adult. So even if you can say, well, they gave permission, they can't consent legally, so you automatically going to be found guilty of that. This was not in the Diddy charges, guys. So R. Kelly was convicted on dealing with underage minors. Okay? Now, as far as the state, well, in the 2022 trial in Chicago, Illinois, R. Kelly was convicted of producing child sexual abuse images. He was convicted of making videos depicting himself sexually abusing a minor. That's R. Kelly. That is not Sean Diddy Combs. LaShawn. It's not the same thing. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. So no, we're not picking and choosing. Yes, as a matter of fact, we are picking and choosing. Because R. Kelly was dealing with minors. So yes, we're picking and choosing. R. Kelly, he can stay locked up. Diddy, he's coming home because Trump is going to give him that pardon. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Listen, here's what else he was convicted of, R. Kelly. R. Kelly was also convicted of enticing minors to engage in sexual activity, guys. This involved charges related to coercion minors into criminal sexual activity. A huge difference between R. Kelly and P. Diddy. Let's get that straight here right now. Huge difference. R. Kelly was not only charged with that, he was found guilty of that stuff. So cut it out. Like I said, we bring facts over here. I bring receipts over here. Not propaganda. Trump is going to pardon Diddy. I mean, it is what it is. He's going to pardon Diddy. And y'all going to be so maddy. It is what it is, guys. I mean, what else I'm going to do? Hey, you could put the parents in jail too. I mean, the parents of R. Kelly victims should. Hey, it is what it is. But R. Kelly is in jail. I mean, see, the thing is, I heard all the arguments about the parents should be in jail. All right, put them in jail. But R. Kelly also should be in jail because it doesn't matter if the parents sold R. Kelly the kids. R. Kelly, you're not supposed to deal with minors. It doesn't matter if the parents sold R. Kelly the kids. It doesn't matter if the parents offered R. Kelly the kids. You're a grown adult. You're supposed to turn the parents down. Then yeah, put the parents in jail too. But as an adult male, or a female, you're not supposed to deal with underage minors. No matter if the parents gave you the underage minors or not. So he's in prison. He's doing his time, and Trump is not going to pardon R. Kelly. He's just not going to do that because of the charges. When it comes to Diddy, it's different. Diddy was not hit with those charges. He was not even charged with those charges. So it is what it is. 100. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we proved to LaShawn that LaShawn, come on, LaShawn. You know, LaShawn, all right. No, he wasn't. He was charged with holding a bunch of grown women against. Yeah, R. Kelly was hit with that too, but he was convicted. Go to Google, LaShawn. Go to Google. Hey, LaShawn, Google is your friend. You see, you have to do research, LaShawn, which is, before you come over here, because I do research on stuff. It's not the same. Yeah, the surviving R. Kelly stuff, you seen the grown woman being held against. He was convicted dealing with minors, LaShawn. Do your research. LaShawn, do your research, LaShawn. And LaShawn, I bet you're not going to come back. You're going to do the Google search. You're going to find out that he was convicted of dealing with minors, R. Kelly was. And you're not going to come back and say, Raze, you were right. You're not going to give Raze credit. You're not going to send Raze a super chat and say, Raze, you are one smart man. You are one smart man, Raze. I apologize for my foolish comments inside your lovely chat room. You're not going to apologize and say, Raze, you are wise. You are one of the wisest YouTubers I've seen. You're not going to apologize. You're not going to come in and say, Raze, you are right about R. Kelly dealing with minors. You're not, LaShawn, because now you're just going to leave the chat. You're going to run over to Tisa Tells, you know what I'm saying, and listen to Tisa Tells tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, LaShawn tripping. LaShawn is tripping. He's not gonna admit. All you gotta do is do a simple Google search and find out exactly what R. Kelly was charged with, what he was convicted of. That is not P. Diddy. We were all gaslit. We thought there was gonna be minors involved, but there wasn't. We were gaslit. When Diddy was first arrested, we were gaslit. We thought it was gonna be an R. Kelly situation, but it wasn't. I think that's why everybody was calling for life and this and that, you know what I'm saying? But I thought it was going to be drug trafficking. I thought it was going to be the minors. I thought it was gonna be some kilos of cocaine being shipped across. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was gonna be all types of stuff. So in the beginning, I was like, uh-oh, Diddy. I think Diddy is gonna be done. Why would the Fed bring all this if they don't have him dead to rights? But and like in three weeks of the trial, I was like, oh my God, I have been gaslighted. I have been lied to. The Feds got nothing. This is gonna be just a prostitution thing or domestic violence. What are we doing here? This is a trash case, and the jurors got it right. The jurors got it right, guys. I wish Diddy could just ask Trump for a pardon now and leave this judge. I think he should wait. He should wait until the judge make a crazy decision to really give him a big sentence, and then that's when that's when he should ask Trump for the pardon. Wait for the sentencing first. Wait for the radical sentence. You know what I mean? Because then Trump can say, look, yeah, that's excessive. Because as of right now, what if the judge says time served? You know what I'm saying? Then there'd be no point of him really, doing a pardon, right? What did the judge say? A year or two, or a year and a half? Or what did the judge just say? 2 years? I mean, I don't think Trump will pardon him. I don't think Trump is going to pardon Diddy with 3 years or less. 4 years or more, yeah. R. Kelly case is no comparison whatsoever to the P. Diddy case, different as night and day, guys. Yes. And the people are trying to frame it that way and this and that, and they're dead wrong. You know what I mean? They're dead wrong. It is what it is. Shout out to Malachi. Arlene is clapping. Yes, Arlene. Yeah. We bring the facts over here, not biasness. It is what it is. Now, I'm not, nothing you're saying was proven. In what matter? What? Yeah, I mean, hey, nothing the feds was saying was proven except for prostitution. I mean, they didn't prove the RICO. they didn't prove RICO. They didn't prove sex trafficking. So I mean, it is. He's sick of that cage. He's ready. Zed says this actually makes feminist job easy. Zed, you wasn't happy about the happy about the jury, the verdict, Zed? It is what it is, Zed. And thing is, sometimes women have to, be fair to men also. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jane got paid 150 grand. She kept going back. Cassie kept going back. Sometimes you just got to let adults do adult things, Zed. And like I said, in 2 years down the road, who's to say Cassie won't go back to Diddy after all this? I'm telling you, man, these women, they do weird stuff. So, you know what? I wash my hands of it. And the Fed should wash their hands of it and just stay out of people's relationships. Unless Cassie files a police report, says Diddy beat her up, then that's when, the authorities should step in. All this other stuff is, it's out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? And then the Feds got called out on it, and they lost. Now we're going to see what this radical judge do about this sentencing, and then Trump going to step in. Trump going to step in and do what he got to do to make things right. It is what it is. I'm just here to, bring out the facts. Really not the facts, but my point of view, my educated guesses on stuff. Like I said, I would have loved to come live every day and say Diddy is done. If I saw that the trial was pointing that way, you know what I'm saying? I would have got a lot of views. You know what I mean? I would have got that Tisa Tells crowd to come over here and praise Raze. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. I mean, I wanted to give y'all the proper analyzation of the trial. And like I said, she said Zed one's life. But the thing is, Diddy didn't kill nobody. You know, Diddy didn't threaten to kill nobody like Cassie did, Zed. You know. Now, if Cassie would have went through on these threats, Zed, should Cassie have gotten life?
So you're telling me that he showed you a
I mean,
video
if
of who kidnapped Cassie? Then that's not a real video because he's never
in that
me.
position, you would have been naked. I'm just saying, if you
So
were,
he's in the video.
I'm saying if I had a picture
Is
of
he
you naked,
in the video?
Yeah, but I'm saying if I had a picture,
Then that's not me.
but I'm just saying, look, hold on, you have to understand, if I had a picture of you naked,
If there's a picture of me naked, that's completely different than a video of me.
Just being real. So I'm just saying,
So the video that he showed you, he's in it.
yeah, we can try to pull it.
How are you gonna? Oh no, your phones are right here.
Try to pull it. You can try to pull it. You can try to pull it.
On the internet?
Yeah, you can try to pull it.
Where?
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, which phone?
You can bring
The
that phone.
Samsung?
Yeah, you can bring it.
So you have it or you don't have it? Can you just be clear with me? Do you have it?
saw it and I don't want to ever see it again.
I know you don't, but I want to see it.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it, bro.
Yeah, you don't have to see it, but it's my life and I'll kill you.
Yeah, but
No, I will kill you if you don't show me right now. I will kill you and I will hide you and I will cut you up and put you in the dirt right now. Pull it up. If you have it, pull that up. Because if not, I'm going to kill you and then he's going to kill you again. So just do it. Pull that up right now.
Yeah, Zed, you see Zed, you know, and the only person that came close to probably getting life would have been Cassie. If she would have followed through on those threats, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. Violence, man. You know, and that's the thing in the US, violence. You know, we gotta get the violence down in the US, man. And you know, people like Cassie threatening to unalive people, you know, that shouldn't be, that's not cool. That's not cool. But she did sound sexy doing it. You know, she sounds so sexy doing it. But she was, you know, she would have been facing life, Zed, you know. If all right, so Zed says, yeah, so Zed says, you know, woman shouldn't defend Cassie. She is a privileged woman, but Diddy is an abuser. But hey, I mean, who knows if Cassie threatened Diddy? did Cassie ever threaten Diddy to kill him? I don't know. Maybe she did. I know she was gangster, man. I mean, you know, no, but you know, but Zed, I said if he was actually charged with domestic violence in California, the maximum for domestic violence is 4 years, Zed. And that happened in California. It's not life in prison. So let's just say if you wanted to make up for that, and the judge says, I saw the video, I want to give him 3 years or 4 years. That's the max in California that domestic violence people get, and half of them probably only get like 6 months in jail. So we're not doing life over here. We're not doing life, Zed. I mean, we just don't do life, not for domestic violence, unless unless he does like attempted murder or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? We don't do that. Not in America, Zed. All right, you know, hit that like button, guys. Shout out to Desmond. Hit that like button, guys. Like I said, I think we covered this enough, though, guys. I want to thank you guys for joining and donating. I appreciate everybody. We will be back live probably later on today. I got some stuff to cover. Pastor Bro stuff, travel bro stuff, the travel space stuff. Like I said, we'll be covering the Diddy stuff on Tuesday again when for the pre sentencing hearing on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys. It's been fun talking to you guys. Salute. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as we get out of here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. As we get out of here. Everybody new to the channel, subscribe. I love the dialogue, the back and forth. It is fun. We'll see what happens on Tuesday at the pre-sentencing hearing for Sean Diddy Combs. Hit that like button, subscribe. Oh, man. Everybody new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the sub button. Sub up real quick. Sub up. Thank you for your donations. I appreciate you. Subscribe. And get them lights up as we get out of here. Before we get out of here, this never gets old. Let's listen to the victorious Raze one last time before we get out of here. And salute to everybody on this Sunday afternoon.
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, the big charges got dropped. No, he should have been cleared of all things. Everything that was on the paper. I mean, flying people in and out and they do what they want to do consensually is crazy. Civil domestic violence case, total different thing. Total different opinion. Everybody would have had a total different feeling about this. I really think he's going to get out today. He should get out today on bail. He shouldn't be on bail, but I just feel like he's coming home. And I think Puff, at this point, when he comes out, just take a deep breath and chill, bro. And don't invite nobody over. Just chill with the fam. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening. But it is a celebration. But it's weird. But I think he's coming out today. I'm having an actual celebration party today. So we've been partying since 8. And I've been playing Diddy all day. And I'm gonna be playing Diddy throughout the rest of the day. Because this is a celebration for not getting done the wrong way. Again, everybody said from the jump, we don't justify certain things we've seen from the domestic violence point of view. And yes, if it was civil, if it was domestic, if it was a domestic violence case, it would be a effing problem. But that's not what this is. So if we're talking about the justice system, we can't pick and choose who to do like this. We have to keep it very neutral. And I think this was one-sided. And I think that the biggest counts are dropped. And I think that alone, with time served, should allow him to post bail and be home in Miami by 9 a.m. in the morning for breakfast.
Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Yes, we will be doing Passport Bro content, Zed. Also, the Diddy sentencing stuff. Also, more other non-Passport Bro stuff on the channel. But we will be doing Passport Bro stuff, Zed, still. And Kamir, Ray J said, not Ray J, Ray J, my guy. So Kamir Valer, salute to you. Salute to, who else was it? And Andrea. Says no, he's guilty. Just one V says I'm with you, bro. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Anybody new to the channel? We're gonna see this out. We're gonna see this through to the end, to the very end, and into sentencing day. We'll see what happens, and we'll see when Trump pardons him if he does get 4 years or more. But hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. As Desmond just said, I'm Raze, and I am out.